Hi everyone, it's Donna again for network meetings. And this time we're talking about bulk cooking in Queensland tuck shops. Um, so I thought we'd kick off today with acknowledgement of country. Um, oh, so I guess the big thing with acknowledgement of country, obviously at the moment, COS acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands from across Queensland. We pay our respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions, the culture, and hopes of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples across the state. In terms of those who don't know me, my name is Donna Moyle. I'm the project officer here for the Healthier Tuckshop Support Program. I'm a nutritionist. I have 15 years in stakeholder engagement and health promotion. And I've also been involved in local school PNCs and associations and school tuck shops for, it says 6 years, but it's probably, I added it up the other day, it's probably more like 8 or 9 years. These are my contact details. So if you do ever have any questions and would like to reach out, please do so. That's my project phone number there, or email is always a really good one to contact me on. So if there's any follow-up from today's meeting, please do just don't hesitate and just drop me an email or give me a call. I normally do a bit of an introduction, but what we might do today is we'll do an introduction for our special guest, which is Megan. So Megan Towner is from Ferny Grove State High School. So Megan, I might just ask you to share your video. If I know, there you are. I can see you now. For some reason, all the videos just like, and just say a couple of words about yourself. So who you are, what school you're from, something that you like about where you work, and what it's like to work in a secondary state high school tuck shop.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. So my name is Megan. I work here at Ferny Grove High School, which is in the northwest Brisbane area. We've got nearly 2,000 kids. It was supposed to be 2,000 this year, but it was just under, and around 280 staff, full-time and part-time in the school. So we're pretty busy. We've got two sites on the school grounds, our main canteen, and then they built a new big building for the seniors, so they put a cafe in the bottom of that. So that works. It doesn't have a kitchen. We send food up there, but it's more of a cafe vibe and coffee and all that sort of stuff. I've been working here for nearly 10 years. But I've only been in this role as the convener full-time for a couple of years. My background has been in food manufacturing and quality assurance. So I used to work part-time in a role doing that and part-time here. But I love this job, and it simplified my life, and now I'm here full-time, so I love it. Yeah, that's about it, I think, about me.
Awesome. No, that's fantastic. Thank you, Megan. And I do find it interesting. We are seeing lots of individuals from a food industry background coming into tuck shops, and sometimes it is because of that lifestyle choice, and just the working hours are a little bit more, I think, family friendly and lifestyle friendly for a lot of people. So, but thank you for coming along today and sharing all of your ideas about how you manage bulk cooking in your tuck shop. I know it's a very busy tuck shop. I have been there a few times, and it's always very, very busy during service periods. It's it's frantic, I think, is a good way to describe your service time.
Organised chaos, we like to say.
Yes, organised chaos, absolutely. So really quickly, before I forget, we have got a magazine coming out, and our newsletter will be out soon. So if you're members, you'll get the magazine. And we will be talking a little bit about bulk cooking in that one as well. So just keep an eye out for that when that comes out. And also in the e-newsletter, I'll be doing a wrap up of this network meeting, and just because at the end of this network meeting, I've just got an empty slide that I thought maybe we could try a hand at what are some good recipes for bulk cooking. So maybe we could all think of some recipes now, and I can just quickly input that into the bottom of the slide, and then I can use that for the newsletter. So that's what I was sort of thinking for that. If that's okay with everybody. And then I've got some network meetings, but I'll talk about them at the end of the day, end of the meeting. And we've got some more training as well coming up. But again, I'll talk to that at the end. But I thought we'd get into why bulk cooking. And just really quickly before Megan, I hand it over to Megan to have a chat. Some of the big benefits that we find when talking to you, to talking to tuck shop conveners is one of the big things was around cooking the protein in large quantities was a big plus. So finding ways to say like using a slow cooker to cook large bulks of chicken to then use across multiple platforms or multiple meals was really a great tip that someone provided with us. Helps when there is limited facilities. So if you don't have a lot of cooking space and you've just got the one stove top just cooking once rather than multiple times throughout the week. It also reduces your cooking time over the week or over the fortnight, depending on how much you do for bulk cooking and the volume of bulk cooking that you do. And overall, it increases the affordability of the meal which makes sense if you think about it, because you're using more ingredients for producing more serves as a result of that as well. They're just some of the benefits. Are there any other benefits to bulk cooking that we can think of that might relate to when it's in practice? So these are some examples that people have provided. But I thought I'd throw it to the group first, and then we'll get Megan to sort of share her experiences as well. So we've got a tip here that someone was talking to me about the other day about how they ask people to come in and cook a meal. Does anyone actually do that in their tuck shop? Sorry, my screen's going crazy with this now. Does anyone do that at the moment where they have someone that comes in and just does some bulk cooking on their behalf?
No.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that before either, but I just thought I'd raise it in case it is happening and it's something that's been like that's picking up speed or something. But yeah, I just thought I'd ask because it was the first time I sort of heard about it. No. What about, sorry?
Yeah, we have home baking that is done off site by volunteers. So ones that can't come in, they
Yep.
do all of our baking and bring it in bulk.
That's fantastic. How many sort of items do you think that they provide every week for you, Alicia?
Depends on the week, really. We only call on them when stock starts getting low, but yeah, they'll be doing at least sort of 5 lots of slices and 200 odd cookies.
Yep. Yeah, that's quite a lot because that reduces quite a lot of the time required to provide all of that for the tuck shop, isn't it, really? So 200 cookies, that's quite a lot of time to cook that in the tuck shop, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does anybody else do the home baking? Yeah. Does anybody else do home baking at the moment?
No. Well, we've got 2 people that they solely do the home baking for us. So then we can focus on the bulk cooking when it comes to the meals on site.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm assuming you obviously have the freezer capacity then to be able to store all of those baked goods on site.
Yeah, we do. We've got a massive sort of stand-up freezer and a massive chest freezer.
Oh, nice. That's lucky. I know a lot of tuck shops that would kill for stand-up freezer space like that. Does anybody else have any experience with bulk cooking in terms of from a home bake point of view? No. Well, I think everyone's just waiting to hear from Megan, to be honest, and then I want to stop talking to me. So I'm going to hand it over to Megan. So Megan, I did send you a couple of questions to prepare, so you're not completely blindsided. So I guess the first question is what are some of the meals that you do bulk cooking in at your tuck shop?
Well, I suppose most of our meals would be considered in bulk because my theory is if we can't sell a dozen serves or more, then it's not sort of worth putting in our cabinet. But as far as our hot meals, currently on our menu, we've got butter chicken, fried rice, karaage chicken, pasta bolognese, Singapore noodles, and then burgers and things like that. We don't do all those meals every day. We usually have 2 hot meal options, but we rotate those around. And I'm very aware that, like, we're really lucky. We've got really good facilities, a really great oven, and a walk-in freezer and that sort of thing. So, like, we are lucky like that. We probably don't cook in bulk and freeze finished meals as much, because one batch for us would be like 36 pasta bolognese, for example. So I can understand smaller schools would cook 36 but put 24 in the freezer, whereas we'll sell them all in one day. But what we tend to do here is, say, for our pasta bolognese, at the beginning of the term, we'll buy bulk, like the tomato paste, the garlic, the herbs, and those sorts of things, and we'll portion it all up into batches. So I'll know, as the person doing all the ordering, because I can walk into the freezer and have a look and say, I've ordered the 3 kilos of mince for the pasta, and I've got all the herbs and spices and everything I need to go into that pasta, except for the pasta, and it just makes my job easier being the ordering person, because I'm not thinking of, have we got garlic, have we got tomato paste every time we make that dish, for example. So we tend to do that with a lot of things, like our fried rice, for example. We'll make up like 5 trays of omelette, like egg omelette, and dice it up and freeze it with the shredded ham and the peas and the corn and the onions and the garlic and the ginger in a big bucket. And then if we're going to do fried rice the next day, we'll pull one of those big buckets out, and then we'll cook up the 12 cups of rice and add those ingredients to the 12 cups of rice. So I just find that, like, that's been a big challenge since we started doing that. It just makes the ordering a lot easier. And yeah, and as I said, we are really lucky because we do have a great combi oven, so we can cook 5 trays of rice with 4 cups of rice in each tray, like, it's just, it makes that bulk cooking a lot easier. Like muffins, we make muffins every day because we can sell 36 of them every day. But we do portion up the muffin mix. So in the morning, all you need to do is get the muffin mix and mix the wet ingredients in, and it's quick that way. Yeah, what else?
When you say proportion up the muffin mix, sorry, do you mean in a bag or in the actual, like, individual muffin mix?
Oh, no. So we keep all our empty buckets and things. we use things. So we've got like lots of 2 kilo buckets that we bought salsa and things in, and so we'll weigh out. We use a muffin mix, and just add the fruit and the water to it, and so we just weigh it out in the portion for the 3 dozen we do every day. So it's literally like, grab the muffin mix, grab the portioned fruit. Sometimes I'll buy big tins of apple and portion that up into batch lots and put them in the freezer. So it's just a matter of pulling everything out of the freezer the day before that you're going to need for the next day. So It just makes things quicker in the mornings, because when our first break is at 10, or we do breakfast, and then our first break's at 10:30. So those few hours in the morning are hectic, to get all that food in the cabinet by 10:30, as I'm sure you all have the same problems. So yeah, that's been good, the batching up of all the ingredients. And
I've got a question from Sharon actually about your fried rice. Sorry, Megan, just to interrupt. Do you freeze any leftover fried rice mix if it's not sold?
No, we wouldn't. No, we don't really have anything not sold, to be honest. Yeah, no, we wouldn't. We might heat it up the next day. like we wouldn't freeze it. We might, you know, if we had 6 serves or something left, we might quickly nuke it and put it in the cabinet the next day. But then we would, you know, and we do have a little bit of wastage every now and again. And, you know, I think in a big school like this where we don't do pre-orders either, we just fill our cabinets up. So we're always guessing how hungry the kids are going to be, and, you know, ringing the office at 9:30 to say, how many of them are here today, you know. So that is one of the hardest things as well, just having a crystal ball to see what we think that they would want. So at the second break, we always have like backup food, like that we can quickly make if we need to. So no child goes hungry, I like to say. But yeah, that is one of the more difficult. I mean, we used to do pre-orders and the walk-through canteen, but it was really hard to manage the pre-orders because we sort of weren't getting enough of them for it to cut back on what we needed to make for our cabinet, but it was taking 1 or 2 people away from making the bulk of the food for the cabinet. So now we only take pre-orders for people with like dietary requirements or the kids from the special needs unit. So yeah.
Thank you. That's actually a really good point with regards to the online ordering, because I know that there's some schools that do a lot of the hybrid sort of ordering system. Who else does just do over-the-counter orders and no more and no hybrid bottle? Like, who else just takes orders on the day as they buy them?
And I must admit, when we started doing that, sorry, Sharon, here you go.
Were you saying something, Sharon? Sorry.
Me? No.
I'm not. No. No, you were just fair enough. How about you, Raylene? You're all online ordering, aren't you, Raylene, at Dalby? Because you're still primary school at Raylene, so there'd be more yeah.
Yeah, we do both. We do online is our bulk, but we still do over the counter as well.
Okay, and how does that go from a primary school basis? Do you just do like almost like the reverse model where you have some backup food that you have in the
No. They still have to order it, but they can order over the counter of a morning. So the only time we ever do backup food is if a child's come up and said they've forgotten lunch, and then it's usually just a sandwich or something quick and easy.
Yep, that sounds good. But have anybody else from a high school that's online that might be able to let us know what they do for their foods, like in terms of how they prepare their meals, whether it's just all over the counter or pre-ordered? No. I did actually have a question here. Oh, I've got from Sharon. She said online and counter orders on the day. And also I've got a question from Mia, and it was, sorry, Mia, I've just gone back in the chat to see it. Cost-wise, for the buying in bulk, the ingredients, I think this is what it was related to, or it might have been talking about the benefits of bulk cooking, but you can buy more in bulk as well. Is that one of the benefits as well as buying all the ingredients at the beginning term, Megan, that you find?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I'm not good with this thing. Yeah, absolutely. You know, buying a massive A10 tin of tomato paste works out a lot cheaper than, you know, buying a small tin every week. So, yeah, definitely works out cheaper, I think.
Do you find it also reduces the amount of time you need to go to the shop? Like, I know we all need to go to the shops on a regular basis, but in terms of the like, I would assume it's the volume of what you're purchasing as well. It's more the fresh food that you're going for every week. It reduces the need to go for the bulk, like stable product.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we order everything in. I don't go to the shops anymore. We get everything delivered because we spend half their personal time at the shops for work. So, but you know, we the first few weeks of the term, our supplier bills are huge, and our business manager freaks out. And I'm like, just because we do buy, you know, lots of bulk stuff, but then by the end of the term it starts dwindling off, and we are only sort of buying fresh things and bread and things like that. So it all works out in the wash at the end of the term. But the last, you know, week and a half we've had some massive supply bills. But and you know, on that, that's another thing I've really found lately, which sort of drives me a bit nuts, but it's worth the time, is like playing your suppliers against each other. Like the amount of price you can save by having 2 suppliers, if you can, or 3. Like, they want your business and they can often do better prices. So, like, you know, that's another thing I've started to do every term, like when we do our stock take at the end of the semester, is to check all the pricing, and then the items that are dearer from one supplier, I just send them a list and say, we won't be getting these from you anymore unless you can give us better prices. And the other one, and they always come back with better prices. Like, so it's annoying. I hate having to do it, but like, you know, when I first went into this role, I just accepted that they were the prices and that's what cats pay. But I've certainly found out that's not true. So, yeah.
That's a really good point. Actually, we've found that that's particularly with suppliers. In the last 12 months, I think the pricing has just gone bananas. And I was chatting to a Tuckshops convener last term, and she was saying even in between invoices, the price hike was like 25%, and she didn't get any warning. They just reissued the invoice.
No.
And she'd been with that supplier for 2 years. They didn't even bother to call her. And so she was like, what do I do? And I said, negotiate it, like find that product somewhere else and then go back. So I've got a question from Katie here. I'm not sure which school you're from, Katie, but your question is, which suppliers do most small schools use? Katie says she uses Superior. What does everybody else use?
We use Superior and Bid Foods and Fresh and Frozen. I found them really good to deal with, actually. And they, like, I don't know, they seem like a bit of a smaller family business. And they you know, like they're more in touch with you when their prices are going up. They'll send an email and I'm just really honest with them and say, well, that's gone up more than your competitor. So if you can have a look at it, and quite often they will. So yeah, I find Fresh and Frozen in Brisbane, they are, I think, I don't know where they deliver outside of Brisbane, but they've got really good customer service, and if they can beat other prices, they will. So
Awesome. And that's good. And I think there's a big mix now of the big national and the local suppliers as well. So obviously Bid Foods and Superior, they're quite sort of statewide and where they deliver. But there is always that supplement need, I think, particularly for fresh foods, to use local suppliers. I was just looking at what Sharon was saying, and they use the local fresh food produce, the local bakery. I haven't heard of Pack Plus. Is that the packaging company?
Yes.
Yep. And Local Countrywide. So that must be, is Local Countrywide, is that Sunshine Coast area? I've heard of that one before. I might just write that one down because I was interested to know more about that one. So that's good that a few people have said that one. Megan, I've got another question for you. In terms of bulk cooking, what do you think the most challenging part of working, particularly in the secondary school, is for, like, in terms of the bulk cooking element of it? Like, what's the most challenging part for you in the role when you're looking at bulk cooking?
I suppose when we want to change the menu and we'll try something, you know, and as I said before, like being a big school, like we usually make at least, like the minimum we would make would be 12 or 20 portions. And sometimes it just does not sell the first time we make it, even if it's only 12 portions and we've had 400 kids through looking for food. So that is challenging. Like, you know, you want to keep the menu fresh and new things, but they seem to get stuck in what they like. And, you know, I am so sick of butter chicken, but they eat it every day. So, yeah, it's that's challenging. And also in hot meals especially, we've been trying to up the veggie content, and we find that really difficult in hot meals, because if there is too much green, or if they can see those veggies, they don't like it, and it will sit there all day. Yeah. So yeah, like, I know how important it is, and that's, but it's in hot meals that is challenging, I find. So
Yeah. It's that hiding the vegetables, which is the challenge, that balance between increasing the vegetable content, but not making it so vegetable that it changes the flavor and the texture of the meal that they love, isn't it? That's the
yeah,
tricky part.
yeah. So one way we sort of get around that is, say, for example, when we do our fried rice, you know, it's got, as I said before, peas and corn and all that in it. But putting the stuff they like on the top. So, you know, a nice strip of diced bacon and some, you know, barbecue sauce, and dressing it up. So all the hero items for them are on the top, and all the other stuff isn't as visible. Yeah, so I suppose that's all of us. You eat with your eyes, so if you see something that you like bacon, you're more inclined to buy it than if you just see a plate of rice with lots of veggies in it and the bacon hidden in it. So yeah.
So true. Kids definitely eat with their eyes, don't they? Like, it's just, they can do what, you can have the best meal, but if they don't find it appealing, they just won't touch it with a 10-foot
No.
pole. No, it's
And
absolutely not.
packaging,
Yes,
packaging,
packaging.
packaging's huge for high school kids. We find we can put the same meal in 2 different containers, and we'll sell the whole lot one day, and then put it in something different next week, and it won't sell. So they like things to look like Guzman and Gomez, or you know, those sorts of places. So yeah, we have to play that game.
Yeah. Yeah, they like it to be very well packaged, but in an appealing way, which is
Yeah,
challenging sometimes with the packaging that's available. I find that
yes,
particularly with single-use plastics not being able to be used anymore, it's much more difficult to find a clear packaging that you can use to show what is inside. Do you guys find that as well? Like, trying to find that type of packaging is really challenging now, unless it's really expensive. That's something that I've found when we've been looking and sourcing product. Yeah, challenging for that.
especially
Yeah.
for the hot
Um,
box.
yeah. So what do you put in? So you're in your hot pots, you have pizzas and fried rice, obviously, the butter chicken. Is it
Yeah.
burritos? I was looking at the menu, burritos
Yeah,
and
we do burritos. So we that's a good bulk recipe. We do them and wrap them in foil. So we make them cold with and wrap them in foil, and then heat them in like a slow oven, like a 120-degree oven, and then when they come out of the oven, we wrap them in greaseproof paper, but it's printed greaseproof paper. And since we've been doing that, they sell really, really well. But that's a good bulk recipe, because you can freeze those in the foil, and you can heat them from frozen. So we'll often have a couple of trays of those in the freezer if we're running late and we don't have time to, or if someone's sick or something like that. There's something that can go in the oven, and we know that there's 24 portions of food. Yeah, so
good idea, the bulk. Yeah, and then just dressing it up. So it's sort of dressed once it's been heated.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. So these pieces of paper cost 14 cents each, which is a lot, but they've got Mexican themed, and since we've been doing that, they just sell. When we used to just put them in the foil in the cabinet, they did not like them. So it makes it sell.
Interesting about that, and making it so it's Mexican food, so they just go for the because kids love Mexican, don't they? Really, so
Yeah, yeah,
it's just interesting that it's just made it more appealing, just purely from a piece of wrap. Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just I've got one more question for you, Megan, and then I'm going to put it out to everyone else to start asking questions, or to share some of their ideas or their experiences. What do you find doesn't work for you in that secondary tuck shop environment in terms of a food item? We've just sort of started touching on how when it's not packaged well, it doesn't sell well. But what else, like in terms of a food item, do you think just doesn't work for you in that secondary school setting?
Messy food, like one-handed food is the way to go for these kids.
Yep.
And I asked my son one day why, and he's like, well, you come and you still got your books. Well, you want to get to the tuck shop quickly, so you bring your books and you got to leave them outside. But then, so you need they want to be able to carry their food. So, I mean, we still do sell salads and the hot meals. You need to have a fork and all that, but we find things like that they can carry in one hand or eat with one hand sells the best. Like even as far as some of our burgers, we've started putting them in the sub rolls instead of the round rolls, and they sell way better, which is crazy. But and I think they don't want messy food. They don't want to have to sit down at a table to eat it. So, or majority don't. Some of the older girls and stuff are more happy to sit down, but yeah, the boys just want to be fed and go. So yeah, and then I suppose other things we find don't work, as I said before, is putting too many vegetables in hot meals, or like make like the names of things like that is a big thing as well. Like just calling something. I find that a lot of the high school kids don't get hung up on what's actually in things as much as, like, if you call something a Mexican hot bowl, they'll buy it. But if you call it a bean, corn, and chicken rice dish, they won't. So, like, finding those names that they'll relate to, I think, is another tip.
Yeah, that's a good idea about that. The naming convention is as important, if not more important, than what's actually in food.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I have a question from Sharon. Do you offer meat-free options with any of your bulk items that you cook?
We do. What we normally do is at the beginning of the term, we'll make, say, a batch of vegetarian burritos, and some this term we tried a butter chicken made with the not chicken, the fake chicken, and we freeze those. So, and we've got, so when I say we don't really do pre-ordering, we do allow vegetarians to pre-order, because we were finding that we were making lots of vegetarian food and it wasn't selling, and then we were only making a little bit, and the kids were saying, oh, I don't come to the tuck shop because I'm vegetarian, there's never anything for me. So we do allow we've got a vegetarian menu, and we encourage them to come and pre-order. In saying that, we still always do like vegetarian burrito bowls, and we have spinach and ricotta rolls, and we do vegetarian pasta salad, like, as part of our regular menu. But to add some variety, we do keep some foods in the freezer, and then near the end of the term we might start getting them out of the freezer and just putting a couple in the cabinet every day to sort of get rid of them. So by the end of the term they're all gone, and then make a fresh batch the next term. So yeah, it's a hard one, because everyone's a vegetarian when there's no vegetarian food, but nobody's a vegetarian when there's a cabinet full of vegetarian food. So yeah.
It's always the way. It's Murphy's Law, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So now it's just open to you guys. Do you have any questions that you wanted to ask for Megan, or is there an experience that you would like to share yourselves? I think Sharon's just unmuting herself. No. Any questions? How many orders do you think you do a week, Megan?
We've worked it out to be about 400 main meals. Most days we're busier on Fridays. But in saying that, you know, we do breakfast as well, and lots of snacks and things. So yeah, it's sort of
What do you do for breakfast?
breakfast. We do bacon and egg burgers, toasted sandwiches, yogurt and granola, fruit salad. I mean, we you know, fruit salads for the whole day, but we get that done before breakfast. We do smoothies. What else do we do? And then yeah, just like the whole fruit and things like that. Yeah, so and we just tried a breakfast burrito actually this week, and that went crazy. They really liked that. So that just had like the diced omelette that I was talking about before that we make with some shredded ham. We put a couple of hash brown in there, and some diced tomato, barbecue sauce, and they really, yeah, that went really well too. And that's something we'll definitely be bringing in next year for the same reason as I said before. We can make them ahead and then just throw them in the oven as we walk in the door, and they'll be ready. So they'll be good.
What time do you serve breakfast?
We are open from 8 till 9 for the kids before school. They start at 9, so we open at 8.
And how do you like? Oh, sorry.
No, you go, Maren. You go.
I was going to say, I know you're a high school, so I'm a primary school, so I'm sort of more make to order. But what sort of things would you suggest to me? Because I've just got a coffee machine and I want to put on some sort of breakfast menu. Would you have any suggestions for a primary school like that? I just want to make a couple of things of each for a breakfast one. What do you think, like the breakfast burger or a burrito or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, either of those or toasted sandwiches. They seem to like those, and you can have them pre-made and then they're ready in a couple of minutes. Yeah. I mean, if you did burritos, you could like, you know, we heat all ours up and put them in the cabinet, but you could heat them in the microwave for a couple of minutes and then quickly put them in your sandwich press, and that'll be ready in a couple of minutes too. Yeah. Or the other thing, depending on your oven, how we do our bacon and egg burgers is we've got some little trays. I think they're actually, somebody told me they were Yorkshire pudding trays, and they're about, you know, that sort of, they've got 4 portions in them that are about that size. So you got to spray them really, really well. But we crack an egg in those and then put the piece of, you know, the big eye bacon on the top, and we bake them in the oven. And what we can do is we can do a few of those extra, like if we don't, oh, we're going to make 24 bacon and egg burgers today, or I don't know how busy it's going to be. So sometimes we'll cook up extra of the bacon and egg and just keep them warm. And so we can throw the burgers together really quickly if we get busy. And if we don't get busy, then we use the bacon and egg that we've made in fried rice or on a burger at morning tea time or something like that. So that's been really handy. So yeah, because I hate nothing more than thinking that a kid's gone hungry. So I always like to have backup food, you know. So yeah.
That's a great idea, actually, about that bacon and egg, about that multi-purpose use of it throughout the day. So cooking it up and using it as required. Yeah. I've just been taking a few notes about some bulk recipes. Does anybody else have some bulk cooking recipes that they thought of? So I have home bake burritos. Where did it go? Home baked burritos, fried rice, spaghetti bolognese, toasted sandwiches, in terms of the sandwich part being made early. Obviously butter chicken. What about, I mean, I've just put the bacon and egg down there. Is there anything else that anyone uses at the moment in their tuck shop from a bulk cooking point of view, and a recipe they'd like to share, or just the food item?
So the vegetarian foods, I think.
Yeah, it's the vegetarian food. So what, I missed that one. So that was vegetarian, was it pasta, did you say?
We do a burrito. So exactly the same as our chicken burrito, but we replace the chicken with roasted sweet potato.
Oh, nice. Roasted potato, that sounds good. Raylene, you said mac and cheese with bacon. Yes, of course, mac and cheese. I'd forgotten about mac and cheese. Yep. Yeah, that's making me hungry, actually. As soon as I read that, I was like, bacon. So pizza bases that you bulk cook. So you make the bases on site and then freeze them, Raylene? Yes. Excellent. That's a great idea. So we've got sweet vegetarian burritos with the roasted sweet potato. What other ideas does anybody have?
Zucchini slice and those sorts of things, like things that may not be a massive big seller every day, but staff might like it. So if you make them in the beginning of the term and have them available to staff.
And you just make sure the bacon's on top, or the cheese is on the top, so they can't see the zucchini at the bottom, I guess.
That's right. Yeah.
What else would there be? I like the pizza bases. Yeah, so what I'll do is with this list, I'm just going to pop it into the next e-newsletter and just say these are some of their bulk cooking ideas. If you've got any more after today, you can just email them through and I can add them to the list. And that e-newsletter goes out to everyone, members and non-members across tuck shops in Queensland, and schools as well. So that'll be a good list to contribute to. Was there did anybody have any other questions for Megan? I'm just conscious of time, so I don't want to sort of keep anybody longer than they need to be here. Any more questions for Megan? No, nothing coming in the chat, I don't think. But thank you, Megan. Thank you so much for sharing all of your ideas. Some of those
no problem.
Were excellent. And I've got home baking are the best sellers. Yeah, I agree. But thank you, Megan. That was wonderful. Definitely, I always learn something new every time I talk to you about what you do in your kitchen, and the food that you prepare for those hungry students. So thank you so very much for coming along.
No worries.
Really appreciate it.
No worries.
Oh, so Alicia's actually just provided some additions to the list: pulled chicken and pork in bulk over different meals and freeze different portions that save so much time. Alicia, how do you cook the pulled chicken and pork? How do you cook that? I'm very interested.
We do it in a slow cooker. We've got 2 slow cookers. So the first thing in the morning is we'll put those on. So then they are done by the end of the day, and when we're ready to do our bulk, prep meals.
Okay, that's great. And how long do you is it 6 hours or something? 4 to 6 hours?
Depending on the recipe. I think our pulled pork is about 6 hours. So you do have to put them on first thing. Where we can do chicken in 4 hours. Yeah, okay. I might email you afterwards, because we've had a few people inquire about how you do it, like what the recipes are for the slow cookers when you're doing proteins like that. So do you mind if I email you afterwards just to see if we can get some of those recipes? Yeah. Is that okay? It's actually probably perfect timing, because we're refreshing our whole menu for next year. So I'm getting right into slow cooker meals and what I can do. Oh, awesome. Oh, that's perfect timing then. Excellent. All right. Well, look, if no one else has any further ideas, what I might do is I'll just close out the meeting. Now let me just go back to, we've got a little friend. How are you, little friend? Here we go. So here's the list that I've made. Oh, not that you can see it. What have I done to my screen? Let me just pull up the PowerPoint.
Oh my goodness, I'm not that great with technology, unfortunately. You'd think I should be in this day and age. There we go. So that's I think you can all see that now. Yeah. So that's the list. I will, if you've got any other suggestions, please do just send them through. The other thing I just wanted to talk about were the next couple of network meetings. So thanks for coming along for this one. We have 3 more statewide ones for the rest of term. So we've got greening up the menu. We're trying to find someone who would like to talk about how they bring in produce from the local school garden. So if you are someone like that, or if you know someone like that, please do let us know, because I'm really trying to work in with some of the sustainability programs going around the state at the moment about using the school gardens to cook fresh produce in the tuck shop. The week 6 is using Canva. So we've had a few inquiries recently around how to develop menus and recipe cards using Canva. Or just recipe cards in general. So we have obviously word templates that we distribute, but someone did ask about how you use Canva and how you set it up. So I'm going to do a special kind of intro, like crash course in how to use Canva. So you can use it for free. So on that day, what I'm going to do, we have a sort of a business account, but I'm just going to use the free version, so everyone is working off the same base, so you can see what you can do in Canva, because it's once you get the hang of Canva, it's really, really quick and really easy, and everything that you produce just looks really polished and professional, and it takes half the time as it does if you're using Word. So we're going to do that in week 6, and then week 8 we're doing a network meeting about theme days. So we're going to do a special Christmas theme days network meeting. So bring some ideas around what you do for Christmas, if you do any special recipes for Christmas. And then we'll be talking about other theme days throughout the year, because there's lots of theme days throughout the year. We've always got an excuse to put something special on in the tuck shop, but we quite often don't always have the time. So we're looking at doing a theme day calendar for you all for next year, just to help with getting prepared for theme days as they come up throughout the year. We do have some regional network meetings coming up as well, for those located out in the Ipswich area. In the next couple of weeks, or in 2 weeks, we'll be at Ipswich State High School for a regional network meeting. You'll get a chance to have a look at it's not a brand new tuck shop, but it's a pretty damn good tuck shop, I should say, at Ipswich State High School. In week 6, actually going to visit Angelique. I don't know if she's still online. She was online before. So Angelique was the winner of, oh no, she's gone. Oh no, she's still there. Hi, Angelique. So recipe of the year this year. So we're actually going to go down to that school, and she's been kind enough to offer a taste test for her recipe that win. So that should be a fun and exciting, and that's on Wednesday, the 8th of November. And actually looking to the Darling Downs region. So if anyone would be interested in hosting a regional network meeting out there, please do let me know. We haven't yet firmed up a date. It would be 8 of this term. So if you are interested, no, Raylan, I don't know if you're keen to maybe put your hand up for that one.
Definitely.
You could show us all of your fabulous recipes that you put in the recipe this year.
Show off our
You had
new
a lot
ovens.
this year.
We got new ovens installed a couple of weeks ago, so that'd be good to show them
like
off.
the lemon, it's delicious. I've tried the recipe, came to the recipe. So, and we're going to be releasing. Oh, awesome. Well, I'll have a chat to you and see if we can make it work. It'll be fun to see you. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Better. Yes.
Oh, morning. Hi. I'm so sorry. We lost internet in the office. So I've only been able to go to my phone, go on my phone for whatever reason. But thank you for holding on because I was coming back. Just a really quick one around training. So I guess the big thing is there is some training dates up on the website. That's really all I was going to say. But if you've got any questions now that it's just four of us online, do you guys have any questions for me? Doesn't have to be about butt cooking. It can be about anything you like.
I'm actually new to the tuck shop. I'm not a convener. I'm just the part-timer there. And it's only, my first year doing it. So this is all new to me, and I've taken lots of notes, and which I think I'll take back and try to implement some of them. But I was just curious with the, do you know how you were talking about home bake and all of that? What are the parameters? Because, around like hygiene and everything, like, is that sort of, like, how do we navigate that? Because I always thought that, there were certain guidelines we had to meet in terms of all of that. And
yeah, look, we do. So I guess the big thing with home bake is it's kind of qualified as a low risk food item because it is baked. It's not as high risk as, say, if someone was cooking a meal using raw chicken or raw proteins. So cooking at home and bringing it in is absolutely fine. What we do recommend is there are some fact sheets that you can send people around, making sure they've washed their hands, that they've cleaned and sanitized their benches first.
Yeah.
So just creating a little protocol document for people who want to do home bake. You also need to just clear it off with the school. I know that since COVID, some schools are a little bit hesitant to implement home baking again. But I think if you can put through a procedure, just write like a one-pager procedure, like, thank you so much for contributing and helping out with home baking. Here are some of the food safety rules that we ask you to employ while at home. I think that should be fine. Because home bakes are really, I sort of feel like home bakes are a really important part of the tuck shop. So encouraging it as much as possible, but reducing. Yeah. So, and the other thing is give them really clear list of recipes. So give them a list of recipes that are acceptable for you in the tuck shop. Say, these are the 6 recipes that we would like you to cook from. And if, this is the food safety guidelines, so, wash hands, make sure you clean and sanitize the bench. Sometimes you can even provide the containers if you wanted to. Like you could go and buy some of the containers so that you know that it's being transported in clean containers. I know some tuck shops that do that, but if you trust the person that's doing it, also not an issue. So you sort of a judgment call on how far you want to go with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably a good thing. Raylene, do you cook everything on site now at the tuck shop, or do you ever do any cooking at home and bring it in?
Now that we've got the new ovens, absolutely everything is done on site. So I spent 5.5 hours in there today, and in that time I did a potato bake, a double batch of fried rice, 2 chooks, 50 serves of spaghetti, and potato bake.
Yeah, potato bake, that's a good one.
Yeah, so that's a lot of food.
We had leftover sausages and steakettes from a fundraiser barbecue we did. So I put those into containers and put potato bake with them. It's another meal. We're not wasting it.
Yeah.
So.
That sounds good. And sorry, Raylene, can I ask what do you do, like, salads for summer?
Yep.
What kind of, like, what have you got on your menu?
Okay, so the salads are lettuce, beetroot, carrot, tomato, cucumber, cheese, and a boiled egg, and then we can add to that ham or chicken.
Oh, okay, perfect. Do you do any like pasta salads or potato salads?
No, we don't do either of those.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. And do you do smoothies at all?
No.
Oh, no, okay, yeah. That was something I was thinking of doing, but yeah, if my convener lets me. Perfect, thank you.
That's all right. You're muted.
We've lost audio again. Oh, you're muted.
Can you hear me? Okay, here I am. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm not good at this. I'm much better in person. So I was just going to say, call us anytime, Raquel, if you've got any
perfect.
questions. And what I do is I also, after these meetings, I CC and everybody in so everybody's contact details. And I do know that in previous instances, some people have used that email to then contact other conveners. I don't have to be a part of it. Like, that's totally fine. And then you can just strike up a conversation with someone if you wanted to, and you can ask them direct questions.
Yeah.
So that's totally fine as well. Raylene's is a fountain of knowledge, so I'm sure she's more than happy to help. Raylene, how long have you been in the role now? 2 years or a year and a half?
It'll be 2 years at the end of this year. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may email
Yeah, so
you.
she can sort of, there's some experiences about starting up. Yeah. So is there a convener at your school, Raquel?
There is. Her name's Ruth. She's been in the role for 23 years and she's sort of looking to slowly retire. So they brought me in this year. I just do 3 hours each day. I'm there for probably 5 hours, but I get paid for 3. And I'm sort of learning her role. But we just joined Quast this year and we had an audit done and our menu came back with 1 star. So we are actually going through and trying to come up with some greener recipes and just trying to see like what works in other, because we're a primary school, so it's when you find some recipes online and you think, oh, I love that, but would a prep child like that? And you've got to sort of think about the demographic and the age group and everything. And
and I think things like so I think burritos really work well in tuck shops in primary schools. Sandwiches like grilled, like toasty sandwiches. Raylene, what works particularly for preppies? What do they like to eat, do you find?
Chicken nuggets.
So we sell so much chicken. We get the chicken wedges. They're a little bit bigger, but we sell so many of those.
So we do chicken nuggets with fried rice.
It's really popular.
Oh, with fried rice.
Yeah. So I get 3 chicken nuggets and a little 60-gram tub of fried rice. But next year, I think I've bitten off a little bit more than I can chew. We're actually going to make our own chicken nuggets next year.
Oh, so that sounds great.
Completely healthy, and we don't have to add anything to it to make it a meal, because they won't be a red food, because they'll be made right, and they won't be crumbed, so they'll just be dipped in corn flour.
Oh, okay, I'm just gonna. Oh, it's gone now. I just had a question. It's gone. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. I was going to ask.
Yeah, look, nuggets are really popular. Actually,
oh, sorry. What was that?
Nothing. I wasn't. No. You guys go.
I was just going to ask. Do you use an air fryer or anything, or just the oven?
We use an air fryer just for our pizzas. So the pizza, we make pizza bases. They are pre-cooked, and we just put the pizzas into the air fryer just to brown off the cheese a little bit, only because we've got so much other stuff going into the oven that we just don't have the space for them as well.
Okay, that's good to know. Perfect. Well, thank you. It's been great. Learned a lot. Right. Yeah.
And just give us a buzz if you want to hold that meeting for the Darling Downs one at our school.
Yeah, that'd be great, Raylene. I'd love to get out there again and see you guys. So leave it with me. I'll touch base with you and see if we can make a date work.
Okay, no worries.
Perfect.
Thanks very much. Lovely to meet everybody.
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. Sorry about the internet. I apologize.
That's all right.
All right.
Bye.
Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.